how do you know when they've made a good choice versus seeing, 2, 3, 4 red flags that maybe your daughters wouldn't see, and being able to give, wisdom to them without pushing them away from making their own decisions? Like, how do you know they're making a good decision?
Well, you know when they're not.
When they're unhappy, when they're complaining, when they're stressed.
No, you know when they're not.
Right.
You know when they're not because they become an insecure, people-pleasing freak. And they start to attach their entire self-worth to what this dude that they're chasing thinks about them. And so when you see your kid, boy, girl, even like anywhere on the gender spectrum, when you see your kid become deeply insecure and consumed by somebody else's attention, that is the wrong choice, period. And I think that on one hand, I think it's amazing that there is so much kind of body positivity and sexual freedom, and women are super empowered and so are and all. But personally, I am horrified by how fast kids have sex.
Right.
I am horrified by how casual it is. I think it is terrible for the mental health of girls and boys. I think the focus on there is the self-expression in terms of your sexuality and your body, but the pressure on girls in particular and young women to put it all out there to be sexual beings, it's just
setting you up for getting
really,
hurt.
really hard.
It's setting you up for getting hurt too, and hurting yourself and feeling confused.
Well, here's the thing. Women cannot have sex without getting emotionally attached.
100% agree.
And men
they can't do it
can't
casually.
get emotionally attached until they have sex. Like, we are literally wired in the opposite way. And so for women, like, I'm sorry, you cannot have sex and not have some sort of emotional connection.
There's no casual for women.
There isn't. And so the culture has shifted in a direction that does not serve women's mental health. And this is not about whether or not you should or shouldn't have sex or in that. It's really about understanding the impact that sex has on your mental health when you're not in a safe or committed relationship. And that's it. And the truth is that there are things that are going on in your chemistry, in your neurology, in your DNA that are tied to survival and to generations past that are way bigger than just the intercourse and the orgasm that you're having with this one person. And so one of the things that I find to be extremely difficult as a parent is counseling daughters through this process of online dating, of casual sex, of the hookup culture, of girls convincing themselves that they're okay with this.
And it's empowering themselves, yeah.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all.
There's just so much,
And here's why.
Yeah.
I would say to my girls, and I'm sorry that this is crude, I'm sorry, what do you mean you're concerned about texting him? His penis was inside you. How could you not text him back?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because I had casual sex, now I'm emotionally invested, and now I'm insecure.
Yes.
And so it's like the reverse of where the boundaries you need to have with yourself. And here's the ironic thing that I think young women don't understand. If you like somebody and you don't hook up with them, they're going to want you more.
100%.
They're going to want you more. If they're interested in you now, they will be interested in you next week. And if you literally are having sex with people when they're right in front of you, they're only going to want you for sex.
Absolutely.
That's it.
The longer you make someone wait, the more time you have to get to really know their heart also. You get to know them, their values, their vision. Like, do we want to be in a relationship? Do you really want to enter your life with someone?
That's the profound way.
Right.
Like, I'm actually just talking about, so you're asking, how do I advise? Like, even my daughter's friends or like anybody that is writing into the podcast. So first of all, everybody is super motivated intrinsically by what they want. So let's just take the situation that you
Yes.
see somebody
Yes.
that's attractive, right? And you really want to get to know them better. The way to connect with somebody that you're attracted with is not to
Don't
have sex with them.
Don't have sex.
Do not.
It's not.
And here's something else that, especially for men, that if you deny them what they want,
They'll want you more.
the chase mechanism kicks in your brain. You want them more. If you have going on because you're a cool person, they're going to want you more. People want to have sex with somebody that's available because they want to have an orgasm. People are interested in pursuing something with somebody who they have to chase. I'm not talking about playing games.
Right.
I'm just
They have to
talking
wait.
about
They have
the
to wait, yeah,
basic
yeah.
power dynamic here. It makes perfect sense that if you have sex with somebody the first night you meet them, all they're ever going to look at you for is sex.
That's it.
That's it. And that's it. And so that's it, everybody.
That's why I think wait as long as you can.
Wait as long as you can.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be wait till marriage type of thing. I'm not saying that, but wait until if you want to, unless you know.
I don't think you should wait for marriage.
I think you should wait until you know you want to be in a committed relationship with this person, personally.
Well, at least exclusive.
Exactly. Yeah. Unless you're saying, hey, listen, I don't care if I ever see this person again. Okay, then have sex with them.
Then
That's the
you're
only way.
having an orgasm.
Exactly.
Right. That's
And
that's
no-
fine. But
yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't think women can do that.
It's very hard, I think.
Not based on our wiring.
Yeah, it's very challenging. So wait if you can.
Yeah, well, if you actually want it to be more than an orgasm, yes.
And if you don't, then realize you might have a letdown.
Yeah.
You might have a letdown. You might have some emotionally unwinding to do because there might be an expectation that this guy is not willing to fulfill after you have sex.
But see, I don't think there's a big enough conversation about the connection between sex and mental health. And that, if you're in the dating culture and all the pressure to have sex, and then the shame and the guilt and the insecurity and the anxiety that comes when you make decisions that you then regret, or it doesn't play out the way that you had hoped it did, even though you knew deep in your heart it was probably a dumb decision. And so you asked me originally, like, what do I do when, how have I counseled my daughters who are now in exclusive, committed relationships? When they are chasing the wrong thing. You just do.
Your daughters.
Yes, because they're not themselves.
They're acting out of whack and they're stressed and they're insecure.
They're like questioning whether they should reach out to somebody. They're questioning whether the person likes them. They're questioning what they should do. Like everything becomes about that person's validation of you.
As opposed to living their life.
Yes. And having somebody come into your life that's additive. Is somebody bringing positive, additive energy, or is somebody a gigantic distraction that amplifies your insecurity? If you don't know how the other person feels about you, I can tell you right now, they're not interested in you for the long haul.
If they were really interested, they'd
You'd
be
know.
telling you. They'd
You
be
would
showing
know.
you. They'd be telling
If
you.
you're confused about how they feel, they're not interested in you. And that's all you need to know.
Focus on your life.
You were an orgasm.
Yeah.
It's really crude to say, but we spend so much time up here and here. So here's another tool. I've been experimenting a lot, Lewis, with two different approaches to mental health, to mindset, to healing, to peace, to happiness. So one approach is any tool that you use that is neck up, meaning what are you thinking about? Okay. So I think what the problem is for most of us is we spend all of our energy up here from the neck up trying to figure out through our thoughts. When the truth is, if you go from the neck down and you go into your body, you know if you feel secure or not around somebody. That's the only answer you need. And 9 times out of 10, when I've seen my daughters or their friends or people that I love in the wrong relationship, it's because they're chasing somebody because they want validation. They're chasing somebody because they believe that if that person likes me or that person is hooking up with me, then that means everybody else will think something about me. And when they're in the right relationship, they are themselves. They're more of themselves. They're secure. They're not playing games. There's a directness to them that, and I always say, like, I know it's the wrong advice to give 20-somethings, but I'm like, stop with the rules. Just communicate.
That's it.
And if somebody is a match, they'll be direct back. If they like you, guess what? They're over there going, oh, should I text her? Not text her too much. And so if somebody likes you and you communicate directly, you will have a match. If you are chasing validation because of what your partner looks like, or if this person hooks up with me, or that person, or this person, or the other thing, or it's all like a game. I like to think about life as like this one long road trip. Every year is a mile marker, right?
Yeah.
And at every mile marker, you're a freaking different person. 100%. So think about all the people you hung out with in high school. They were your ride or die. And then you go through mile marker 18 to 22, you become a different person. And there are some people that are now a mismatch. They're not bad people.
Yeah, you're just not as connected as you were in the past.
Yes, that's it.